Welcome to Thoughts That Can Change Your Life with me, Reverend Wolak. Today we're going to look at this idea of how do you deal with the paradox of being an individual and belonging to a group. It's a real big paradox because in order normally to belong to a group, you've got to fit in with what the group's guidelines are. You've got to fit in with the group's expectations. But yet, does the group give you the freedom to be you? Does the group give you the freedom to think outside your box? You see, the key thing is that the paradox is we want to be our individual self, and we want to fit in with people of like mind. Well, in order to do that, you really have to be in a group that honors the idea of what truly love is. And what is love? Love is about accepting someone as they are. How many groups do you know accept people as they are? Or do they require them to buy into a certain code of living, buy into a certain code of believing, buy into all these various and different things? There's a natural part of us that wants to belong. We want to be connected with others. I think it's just natural because we all come from one source. We're all part of the infinite intelligence that's out there. So inside, we understand that we're never alone. In human form, we just don't seem to fit in with everybody because everyone's vibrating differently. There's infinite expressions of this one idea, this one consciousness. And in human form, we're not meant to get along with everyone, but we can accept everyone. Doesn't mean we like them. Most of the time, here's what I find out, we don't like ourselves. So how do you fit into a group if you don't like yourself? And when you don't like yourself is the energy that you're radiating. So the group you're going to go into is a group that radiates a similar energy. So that group that you're going into doesn't like themselves either. So you've got a group of people together under a common, whatever the energetic is, that don't like themselves. A group that's not authentic, a group that's not real. So again, does that serve? Does it support you? Does it grow you? Being self-loving is magnificent. It's where we start everything. It's what I basically teach. But being self-loving also means being loving with others and attracting, being aware of those people that are similar to us in vibration so that we can go on this journey together. But right now, it's like people, if you're going to go in this group, are you conservative? Are you liberal? Well, sometimes I am. JJ, if you're trying to, the clock's changed here, honey. We have daylight savings times. So our clocks are different. Right now it is 8:04 Central Time. So you're absolutely right. Clocks changed. So you were trying to get into meditation. You couldn't get in because we did it an hour earlier. If you want to fit in with me, you got to fit into my time zone. There's a condition for you. Have you ever been a part of a group? And when you're a part of a group, maybe even it's a relationship where you're trying to fit into the relationship and you can't unless you sacrifice yourself. Yeah. How many of us have been in relationships where we have to sacrifice ourselves? Yeah. Josh says the military, of course. The military, you give up any individualization. because the military functions that you conform, that you behave exactly as they tell you, because their belief is if you don't, then the military will not function the way it could. There are times when, in order to get something done, maybe we, for a little bit, we change ourselves for the greater good of all. But then again, for how long? Joanna says, I like that you talk about what others are not willing to talk about, but we all want to talk about it. In high school, I changed who I was in order to impress my friends. Of course, Ian. It's what we all do in high school. Got to fit in. If you're not part of the group, what the hell are you? And then you go back for your 50th anniversary like I did, and you realize, well, that was a bunch of bogus shit. Why did I need to fit in? No, I was my original self. Some of them, they were still trying to fit in, still carrying the same relationships. Well, that's their choice. I'm not in judgment of that. I just know it wasn't for me. That's one of the reasons why I've created this Agape community. Because I wanted a community where people could fit in and yet be authentic. And so as I look at the community actually has two aspects. There's the local aspect and there's the global aspect. And they're both part of this community. They're not separate. They're part of the community. Yeah, Lydia, I agree with you 100%. Lydia says, I've realized that I better not sacrifice my peace of mind trying to fit into a relationship just to get a certain feeling. Of course, because that feeling will be gone like this. Feelings are fleeting, they're momentarily, but being you, that's with you all the time. Evolving and healing right now is critical. Yesterday, my talk was on habits. And so let's assume you're in a relationship. This is really good. Let's assume you're in a relationship and you've been in a relationship for a year, 2, 3, maybe 30, 40, who knows? You have habits because of that relationship. And so people get out of a relationship and they immediately want to go into another one. You say, wait a second. I still have those habits that I had in the old relationship. And those habits in the old relationship didn't work. Whoa. So what do I have to do? I have to unplug from a relationship and rebuild habits that I choose. And guess what? That takes time. Building a new habit is not something that happens overnight. It's time consuming. Because the mind is hardwired to the old habit. Am I making sense? I think I am. That's why I tell people that when you break up from a relationship, a meaningful relationship, take a year. Take a year on examining yourself, building self-love, shifting your habits, going through all 4 seasons of building new habits, consciously evolving yourself. And then in a year, you'll be ready to attract a different person, a different type of relationship. Kai goes, that was the best advice. I know, Kai, you're one of my best students. You listen. It's not that I don't love everyone who doesn't listen, but I'm going to tell you, don't believe me. Test what I say. Prove it for yourself one way or the other. It's a paradox, gang. Being authentic and yet fitting in. Where do you fit in where you can be authentic? Do you have that place? Do you have that person? I'm very grateful for my wife, Jean, because I am me all the time. And God bless, she just accepts me. And I do the same for her. We're very different. Rest assured, Jean and I are very, very different. But we've created a lot of habits of how we are with each other. And I look at those habits. I look at them all the time and I go, I like that habit. I like that habit. I like that habit. I like that habit. Ooh, I don't like that one. And then we talk about it and we create a new habit. I'm about to create a new habit with her because in 3 weeks she retires. And she says to me, I want to start working out more and I want you to help me work out. Well, that means the habit I've got of going to the gym by myself, doing what I want to do, I'm going to adjust that so that we can go to the gym together and I can help guide her, but still do what I want to do. I'm not going to change me and what I work out, but I can assist and guide her as she does. Ian says, I'm truly grateful for your wisdom on marriage. Well, Ian, I've got almost 50 years of it, and I'm constantly learning. Here's what I can tell you I know, not a lot, but I can tell you what my experience has proven for me. And then you try it and find out if it works for you. At 26, Ian, I was probably not your ideal partner. I was a bit wild. Didn't have kids. Did a bunch of drinking. Smoked some weed. Came home real late. Loved to party. Not the best partner. But I shifted. I shaped. I changed. We all do. For me, the big thing that shifted me were children. Because being a father was something that was so deep within me that I wanted to be, and I wanted to be different than my dad. And so in order to do that, when I had kids, I had to shift. I had to shift my habits. Going out, drinking, smoking weed, partying, smoking cigarettes. Like this, I changed my habits. Why? How did you do that, Lee? Because my reason for changing was huge. That's the key to change your habits. You've got to create a lot of benefits associated with the new habit. So if you're going to change any habit, write down a list of 20, 30, 40 reasons why it will benefit you to create the new habit. Once you've got that many reasons down, you'll have a powerful motivation, inspiration from within the change. But if you don't have the reasons, you haven't clearly defined the benefits, you'll never change the habit. You'll go and then you'll quit. You'll go and then you quit. I understand, Ian. Exactly. Well, gang, what a great morning. I'm glad you took the time out of your busy day to sit, to listen, and think about it. Hey, come back tomorrow and tell me what habit you want to change. If you want to work on it together, we can work on it together. That's no problem. Love that. Let's make this a back and forth thing where we work together. That's what I want for the Agape community that you're a part of, is that we have a back and forth exchange so that everyone can benefit from it. So with that in mind, I want to let you know, hey, I love you. I accept you just like you are. Let's fit in together. Let's create this community of Agape. Until next time, aloha.